The 1965 Washington Quarter is a coin with a fascinating history, largely due to its transitional role during a significant change in U.S. coinage. In this comprehensive exploration, we will delve into the origins of the Washington Quarter, the circumstances surrounding the 1965 minting, the rarity of certain varieties of this coin, its value, and how collectors assess its significance. The history of the 1965 Washington Quarter is rich with economic and political implications, making it an essential subject for numismatists and history enthusiasts alike. Historical context of the Washington Quarter. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Initially intended as a one-year commemorative issue, the design proved so popular that it became the standard design for the quarter, replacing the standing Liberty Quarter that had been in use since 1916. The original Washington Quarter was composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, a common composition for U.S. coinage at the time. The coin's obverse, featuring a profile of George Washington, was designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse displayed an eagle with outstretched wings. This design remained largely unchanged for decades, although modifications were made over time to improve the coin's strike and longevity. The economic shift of 1965. The year 1965 marked a significant turning point in the history of U.S. coinage. Following World War II, the demand for silver surged due to both industrial use and the growing popularity of silver coinage among collectors. The U.S. government began facing a shortage of silver, and by the early 1960s, the price of silver had risen dramatically. As a result, the intrinsic value of silver coins, including the Washington Quarter, began to exceed their face value, leading to widespread hoarding and a depletion of circulating coinage. In response to this silver crisis, the U.S. government took drastic action. Under the Coinage Act of 1965, the composition of U.S. coins was altered to eliminate silver content from circulating dimes and quarters. Starting with the 1965 Washington Quarter, the coin was struck from a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This change allowed the government to continue minting coins without the need for increasingly scarce silver, while also reducing the incentive for hoarding. The transition in the 1965 Washington Quarter. Because of the transition from silver to clad coinage, 1965 quarters were not struck with any mint marks, meaning no coins were specifically designated as being minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This lack of mint marks applied to quarters minted between 1965 and 1967, after which mint marks were reintroduced in 1968. The production of 1965 quarters spanned several years as the U.S. Mint worked to phase out the use of silver in circulating coins and transition to the copper-nickel-clad composition. To prevent confusion and potential hoarding during this transitional period, the U.S. Mint also decided to delay the release of coins dated 1965 until enough new copper-nickel coins could be produced. The 1965 Washington Quarter, therefore, represents a significant moment in U.S. numismatic history, as it symbolizes the end of an era of silver coinage and the beginning of a new period of modern, base metal coinage. Rare varieties and errors of the 1965 Washington Quarter. While the 1965 Washington Quarter is generally not considered a rare coin due to its high mintage, certain varieties and errors from this year are highly sought after by collectors. These rare varieties can significantly increase the value of a 1965 quarter, making them much more valuable than their face value. 1965 Silver Quarter. Perhaps the most famous and sought-after variety of the 1965 Washington Quarter is the 1965 Silver Quarter. Despite the official change to copper-nickel-clad coinage in 1965, a small number of quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These silver 1965 quarters are incredibly rare and valuable, as they represent an error in the minting process during a critical transitional period. To identify a 1965 silver quarter, collectors need to carefully examine the coin's composition. The easiest way to determine whether a quarter is made of silver or copper-nickel clad is to check the coin's edge. Silver quarters will have a solid silver-colored edge, while copper-nickel clad quarters will have a visible copper core along the edge. Additionally, a silver 1965 quarter will weigh approximately 6.25 grams, while a copper-nickel clad quarter will weigh around 5.67 grams. Silver 1965 quarters are extremely rare, with only a few confirmed examples known to exist. As a result, these coins can fetch prices ranging from several thousand to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and provenance. Double die errors. Another rare variety of the 1965 Washington quarter is the double die error. Double die errors occur when a coin's design is accidentally struck twice, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the design elements. On a 1965 Washington quarter, this doubling is most often seen on the obverse, particularly in the lettering of Liberty or the date. Double die errors are highly prized by collectors due to their rarity and visual appeal. Depending on the severity and location of the doubling, a 1965 double die quarter can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Off-center strikes. Off-center strikes are another type of minting error that can occur during the coin production process. An off-center strike happens when the coin planchet, is not properly aligned with the coin press, causing the design to be struck off-center. The resulting coin will have part of the design missing and a blank area where the planchet was not struck. Off-center 1965 Washington quarters are rare and can vary significantly in value depending on the degree of the off-center strike. Coins with a more dramatic off-center strike tend to be more valuable, with some examples selling for hundreds of dollars or more. Value of the 1965 Washington quarter. The value of a 1965 Washington quarter depends largely on its condition and whether it exhibits any of the rare varieties or errors mentioned above. Here is a breakdown of the value ranges for different types of 1965 quarters. Standard 1965 copper-nickel clad quarter. The majority of 1965 Washington quarters are made from copper-nickel clad and are not considered rare. In circulated condition, these coins are typically worth only their face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples or those in particularly high grades can be worth slightly more, with values ranging from $1 to $10 depending on the coin's grade. 1965 silver quarter. As mentioned earlier, 1965 silver quarters are extremely rare and valuable. The exact value of a 1965 silver quarter depends on its condition, but prices generally start at several $1,000s. In high-grade condition, these coins can sell for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. For example, one of the few known 1965 silver quarters sold at auction for $7,050 in 2014. Since then, prices have only increased as collectors continue to seek out these rare transitional errors. Double die errors. The value of a 1965 double die Washington quarter depends on the severity and location of the doubling, as well as the coin's overall condition. Prices for double die error quarters typically range from $100 to $1,000, with particularly strong examples fetching even higher prices. Off-center strikes. The value of a 1965 Washington quarter with an off-center strike varies depending on the degree of the error. Coins with a minor off-center strike may sell for $50 to $100, while those with a more dramatic off-center strike can be worth several $100s or more. Grading and condition. As with all coins, the condition of a 1965 Washington quarter plays a significant role in determining its value. Coin grading is a standardized system used by numismatists to assess the condition of a coin, with higher grades indicating better preservation and fewer signs of wear. The most widely used coin grading scale is the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1, poor, to 70, mint state. Here's a brief overview of the different grades and what they mean for a 1965 Washington quarter. Good, G4 to G6. In this grade, the coin shows significant wear, with most of the details worn flat. The coin may have scratches, dings, and other signs of heavy circulation. A 1965 quarter in good condition is typically worth only its face value. Very fine, VF20 to VF35 coins in very fine condition show moderate wear, with most of the details still visible but slightly worn. The coin may have some luster remaining, but it will not be as shiny as an uncirculated coin. A 1965 quarter in very fine condition may be worth a few dollars. Extremely fine, EF40 to EF45 coins in extremely fine condition show only light wear, with most of the details still sharp and clear. The coin will have a fair amount of luster remaining and may be worth more than face value, depending on the market. About uncirculated, -50 Australian dollars to -58 Australian dollars. In about uncirculated condition, the coin shows only minor signs of wear, usually on the highest points of the design. The coin will retain much of its original luster and may be worth $1 to $10.
While the 1971 day quarter is not inherently rare, certain varieties and errors can increase its value significantly. Some of the most notable varieties include the 1971 D Washington quarter, minted in Denver, holds a special place in the series of Washington quarters that have circulated for many years. Here's a detailed exploration of the history and value of this particular coin, including its design, production nuances, and the rarest varieties. The Washington Quarter Series. The Washington Quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The design was based on a sculpture by John Flanagan and has remained largely unchanged in its basic form until the State Quarters program in 1999. However, many minor details, including mint marks, metal composition, and slight design modifications, have occurred over the years. From 1932 to 1964, Washington quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 6.25 grams. However, after the Coinage Act of 1965, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of quarters to a copper-nickel-clad structure, which drastically altered the coin's metallic value. The 1971 D Washington Quarter. Minting and design. The 1971 D Washington Quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary mints in the United States, alongside the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints. In 1971, the coin featured the standard copper-nickel-clad composition, with a core of pure copper surrounded by layers of nickel-copper alloy. This change in composition occurred in 1965, replacing the previous 90% silver quarters, which made earlier silver quarters highly collectible. The obverse front of the coin features the iconic bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, facing left. Above Washington's head is the word Liberty, and to his left is the national motto, In God We Trust. The date 1971 is placed at the bottom of the obverse, with the mint mark D for Denver placed directly to the right of Washington's ponytail. On the reverse back of the quarter is the image of an eagle with its wings spread, holding a bundle of arrows in its talons, representing strength and preparedness. Below the eagle is an olive branch, symbolizing peace. The inscriptions United States of America and E pluribus unum out of many, one are placed above the eagle, while the denomination quarter dollar appears at the bottom. Production numbers and availability. In 1971, the Denver Mint produced approximately 258.6 million quarters. This high mintage number indicates that the coin is not particularly rare in terms of availability. Most 1971 day quarters were released into general circulation, and many remain in circulation today. However, finding a 1971 D Washington quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition can be more challenging due to the typical wear and tear from circulation. The high mintage numbers also mean that many of these quarters can still be found in pocket change, though most are worn from decades of use. Collectors who seek to add this coin to their collection often aim for higher-grade specimens, especially those graded by professional coin grading services. Varieties and errors. While the 1971 day quarter is not inherently rare, certain varieties and errors can increase its value significantly. Some of the most notable varieties include double die obverse DDO. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die obverse, where the details on the front of the coin appear doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. This error can make the coin highly valuable, especially in high grades. Off-center strikes. This error occurs when the coin is not properly centered during the striking process, resulting in a portion of the design being missing. The degree to which the coin is off-center affects its value. Clipped planchette. This error occurs when a portion of the coin's planchette, the blank metal disc used to strike the coin, is missing, leading to a clipped appearance. Depending on the size and shape of the missing portion, this error can be worth a premium to collectors. Some of these error coins can command prices ranging from a few hundred to several $1,000s, depending on the rarity and condition of the error. Value of the 1971 D Washington quarter. The value of a 1971 D Washington quarter varies greatly depending on its condition, any errors it may possess, and the current market demand. Here's a general breakdown of its value. Circulated condition. In average circulated condition, a 1971 day quarter is typically worth its face value of 25 cents. Due to the high mintage, circulated examples are common and do not hold much numismatic value. Uncirculated condition MS60 to MS65. Uncirculated quarters in mint state MS condition, especially those graded MS60 to MS65 by professional grading services, can fetch higher prices. These coins typically range in value from $2 to $20, with the value increasing as the grade improves. Gem uncirculated condition MS66 and higher. Quarters in gem uncirculated condition, graded MS66 and above, are much rarer and can be valued at $50 or more. The finest known examples, especially those with exceptional luster and strike quality, can command even higher prices. Error coins. As mentioned earlier, quarters with errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, can be worth significantly more. Depending on the type and severity of the error, These coins can range in value from $50 to several $1,000s. For example, a double die-obverse in high grade might sell for several $100s, while a dramatic off-center strike could fetch even more. Proof coins. Although the Denver Mint did not produce proof coins, collectors may be interested in 1971 proof quarters struck at the San Francisco Mint. These proof coins are made using specially prepared dies and plankets to create a mirror-like finish. A 1971's proof quarter, though not rare, can be valued at around $2 to $5, depending on its condition. Collectability factors. Several factors contribute to the collectability and value of the 1971 D Washington quarter. Condition. As with most coins, the condition of the coin is paramount in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved and show no signs of wear are highly sought after by collectors. Errors and varieties. As discussed, error coins and certain varieties can dramatically increase the value of a 1971 day quarter. Collectors are always on the lookout for these anomalies, and they are willing to pay a premium for rare errors. Historical significance. Although the 1971 day quarter is not particularly historic in its own right, it is part of the larger Washington quarter series, which has been in continuous production since 1932. Collectors who focus on Washington quarters often seek to complete a set, which includes the 1971 D coin. Market demand. The value of any coin is ultimately determined by supply and demand. While 1971 D quarters are not scarce, the demand for high-grade or error coins can drive up prices. Market fluctuations and trends in numismatics also play a role in determining the value of this quarter. Eye appeal. Coins with strong eye appeal, including good luster, sharp strikes, and minimal imperfections, are more desirable to collectors. Even slight differences in eye appeal can result in significant price variations. Conclusion. The legacy of the 1971 D Washington quarter. The 1971 D Washington quarter is a common coin in the larger Washington quarter series, but it still holds interest for collectors, particularly in high-grade, uncirculated condition, or with rare errors. The coin's value largely depends on its condition and any anomalies it may possess. As with many coins, rarity, demand, and historical significance all play a role in determining the ultimate worth of the 1971 day quarter. Collectors of Washington quarters often seek to complete a comprehensive collection that includes every mint mark and year, making the 1971 D an essential part of such a collection. Whether found in circulation or purchased from a dealer, this quarter continues to be a symbol of American coinage history, with the potential for certain specimens to be worth significantly more than their face value.
The 1976 bicentennial quarter was part of a series of coins issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. These coins were minted in 1975 and 1976 but only bear the date 1776 to 1976. The bicentennial coin series included quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, each featuring unique designs to mark this significant milestone in American history. The Philadelphia Mint did not include a mint mark on its quarters, which is standard for coins produced there. Therefore, a 1976 bicentennial quarter without a mint mark is not an error but a regular issue coin. The mintage numbers for the bicentennial quarters were substantial due to their high demand and the historical significance of the coins. Here are the approximate mintage figures, value and collectability. The value of a 1976 bicentennial quarter without a mint mark varies based on its condition and whether it is a regular circulation coin or a special collector's edition. Here's a breakdown of the approximate values, notable errors and varieties. While a no-mint mark 1976 bicentennial quarter from Philadelphia is not an error, there are some notable errors and varieties associated with these quarters that can increase their value. Double die obverse, DDO. Some bicentennial quarters exhibit a doubling of the design elements on the obverse. This error can significantly increase the value of the coin, especially in higher grades. A DDO quarter can range from $1,000 to several $5,000, depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. Clipped planchette. A clipped planchette error occurs when a portion of the coin is missing due to a malfunction in the minting process. These errors are relatively rare and can increase the coin's value, ranging from $500 to over $2,000, depending on the size and placement of the clip. Off-center strike. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a portion of the design being off-center. The value of these errors depends on the degree of the misalignment and the overall condition of the coin, ranging from $500 to several $1,500. Die cracks and cuts. Die cracks and cuts are minting errors caused by a crack or break in the die used to strike the coins. These errors can create raised lines or missing portions of the design on the coin. The value of die cracks and cuts varies widely based on the size, location, and visibility of the error, ranging from $300 to over $800. Collecting tips. For collectors interested in the 1976 bicentennial quarter, here are some tips to consider. Condition matters. As with most coins, the condition of the bicentennial quarter greatly affects its value. Look for coins with minimal wear, clear details, and no significant damage. Check for errors. Always examine your coins for any possible errors or varieties that can increase their value. Use a magnifying glass or a loupe to spot details like doubling, clips, or die cracks. Proof and silver editions. Special proof and silver editions are generally more valuable and desirable among collectors. Consider adding these to your collection for their unique features and higher value. Storage. Properly store your coins to maintain their condition. Use coin holders, flips, or albums to protect them from environmental damage and handling wear. Historical significance. The 1976 bicentennial quarter holds a special place in American numismatic history due to its commemorative nature and widespread popularity. It serves as a reminder of the United States' journey from its founding to its 200th anniversary and the enduring legacy of its early years. The unique designs on the bicentennial coins make them a favorite among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. In conclusion, the 1976 bicentennial quarter without a mint mark is a common and regular issue coin from the Philadelphia Mint. While it is not considered an error coin, its historical significance and unique design make it a noteworthy piece in any coin collection. The value of these quarters varies based on their condition and whether they are part of special editions or error varieties. Collectors should look for high-grade examples, proof versions, and notable errors to enhance their collections and appreciate the rich history commemorated by these coins. The 1976 bicentennial quarter is a commemorative coin issued by the United States Mint to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. This quarter is part of a series of special bicentennial coins that also includes the half-dollar and the dollar coin. The unique design, historical significance, and varying values based on condition and minting have made these coins a subject of interest for collectors and numismatists. Most circulated bicentennial quarters hold their face value. Uncirculated or proof coins might be worth anywhere from $1 to $5 or more. Just make sure you don't spend a quarter that could be worth thousands of dollars. The most valuable U.S. quarters can be sold on the collectibles market for the price of a small estate. A 1796 quarter, for example, sold at auction for $1.74 million in 2022.